በየትኛውም ዓለም ያላችሁ ሁላችሁንም ቨርቹዋል ቡና ጠጡ ብለን እንጋብዛለን። ማውራት ከፈለጋችሁ ሐሳብ ማካፈል ከፈለጋችሁ ቡና መጠጣት ከፈለጋችሁ ከኛ ጋራ ወይም እናንተ ቡና ጠጡ ብላችሁ ከጋበዛችሁን ለሁለቱም ፈቃደኞች ነን።
Here you are. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Gazain.
How are you, Danny?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much for joining us on New Perspective. Daniel Barnes, the great drum player and musician, humorist. For me, you are a humorist. You know how to make people, happy. You are an entertainer. I saw you come.
Oh, from the stage.
On the stage. Yeah. So you are the band leader too. You are leading your band, your own band. Can I say that?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, you can say that. Really, I share the band with Girma, but I do a lot of the leading, yes.
Thank you very much, Danny, for joining us. So what's this time looks like? How do you feel about this strange time as a musician?
Thanks for asking to be here today, and I appreciate being able to speak to you and your followers. So in answer to your question, yeah, it's so difficult for many people, of course. The entertainers is the section of society I think will return to work very late. Yeah. We need gatherings of people for shows. So it's a real change. I know a lot of people are doing online type of shows, streaming and such, and that's nice. But of course, I very much miss the audiences, and I see a lot of my colleagues are really missing performing. So it feels very unsettled not knowing when we can return to performing. So we just have to breathe and keep ourselves busy until we can do what we do again. I'm very grateful for the help that comes from our federal government here in Canada. It's helping us get through with some support. It's very important to the creative sector. It's so serious, I'm taking care of my mom, because she's at risk as an older person. So we have to make sure she's safe. So all of our older people are under great risk. Yes. It's a scary time. We don't know what the end looks like. Exactly. So, but in the meantime, since you say I am a performer and such, so I am working on things behind the scenes to prepare for the day that we can do more. So there's actually very much going on in my work. There is I'll soon be doing some more recording towards the next record for the band Barnes and Wildemichael, which features saxophonist Girma Wildemichael, as you know. Yes. Because I see you at the shows.
Is this the CD you are recording, the previous one, the one on the process? I know you were recording a CD together. Is it the one you started before or the new one?
It's the same one. Just the same one for now. We have just the one coming out.
Yes.
We're working on it with Girma and some other players. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's coming along, and there's still a few more tracks to go, and looking forward to bringing that out to the public. So at this time, we can do things like get a new website. Everyone, every some amount of time, you need a new website. So I'm working on a new website, and but of interest, Gazain, is I'm working on a series of videos for YouTube. To discuss for YouTube to discuss to show people our band and also to talk about Ethiopian jazz.
That's very interesting. What do you feel? You know, how's your spirit? How's your as a musician, as a creator?
Well, like I say, I feel good on the days where I'm working on the ways to get my music to the public. So I'm working on the website or working on the video.
Yeah.
When I do these kinds of work, I feel like there's a future.
That's great. Yeah. That's very important. And do you think the virtual activity replaces the actual the face-to-face relation?
Not at all. Nope, nope, nope. Not even close. We look at our computers a lot these days.
Yeah.
And when you see a show on your computer, you're just looking at your computer some more. And it doesn't go in the same way, you know. It's not a immersive experience. When you go to a show, you're in a room with other people, and there is an actual physical energy exchange.
The clapping, the shouting, and everything. Yeah.
You feel the other people, and you feel the performers. Yeah.
Yes.
And that is something that happens in a room with people. So it's not the same. It's what we can do.
This time is for you. It's a big time for you. You know, before, you have been traveling all over. You give shows, concerts here and there. So all these are cancelled now. Do you think things will come normal again?
I am one of the people who says yes. One day, at some point, people will gather again, because I think that people have a need for it. And when they feel safe enough, and everyone will feel safe at different times, you know,
yeah.
I think it will return. I prefer to believe that humans want to get together and enjoy spectacle shows, feel the music. I say live music has survived great tragedies in the past. You know, live music survived the Spanish flu of the early 20th century. It survived the plague in Europe in the 13th century, 12th century, etc. It comes back. It comes back because it's a basic human thing. So I think eventually it will come back.
So let's take you back to your memories, and tell me, during this time, what do you do? You know, you travel. I know you travel to Latin America, to Mexico, sometimes to Europe. So tell me, what did you do in the near past? You know, where did you travel? What kind of culture?
Okay.
Yeah.
Only 1 month before the shutdown, I was in Mexico.
Okay.
I attend and perform at a music festival in Mexico, in south of Guadalajara. So it's kind of in the center of the country. And I go there, and we're doing some nice shows there. Now, that population we play for is mostly North Americans, or rather, I should say, mostly Americans and Canadians who vacation there. Yeah. But fortunately, we got to know some of the local Mexican musicians, and we spent a lot of time with them this year, jamming, hanging out. They're showing us their favorite things. So we had a nice time with the locals this year in Mexico. Yeah. It's been a little while since I was in Europe. I know I'm posting all these things on social media from my days in Europe, but it's been a little while since I was there. But I'm going to Mexico.
The famous, the big tour for you to Europe was with Aster Awaka, the popular singer from Ethiopia. And I know Girma and you met during that concert. So tell us about a little bit, how you met, how you get connected with the Ethiopian culture and music. and why you are attracted to the Ethiopian music.
Yeah. Well, early in my life, when I was about maybe 20 years old,
Yeah.
late teenager, a circle of friends became familiar with my family. My mother was involved with political activism, fighting for the freedom of South Africa. So fighting against apartheid.
Yeah, yeah.
And through that, she became friendly with a circle of people, many of whom were Ethiopians. At that point, they became very close, and they would come to the house, and we would spend time together, cooking, hanging out. And one of their friends who was new to Canada, he was a musician, Alam Seget Kabede.
Yes. Alam Sakit Kabada,
And
guitar player.
bass player.
Yes.
And he would come. And so we spent a lot of time together, and we exchanged a lot about music. So at that time, I became more familiar with the Ethiopian people. And then Alam showed me a lot about the music that I need to know as a drummer. And one day, Aster Aweke, she had a show in Toronto that the drummer, somehow he didn't make the show. And they were stuck. Emergency.
Interesting.
So Alam knew I could do it. So he thought I could do it. So they tried me.
You already know by that time you were capable of doing Ethiopian.
Yes,
drum?
well, I was already a drummer, you know, I was already playing a lot, and he had showed me what I needed to know.
Yeah.
And because we were spending time together, I heard the music a lot. So I had some idea. And you know, they were in an emergency situation, so they had to try somebody. So I had the opportunity that day to give it a try, and wow. And it worked out very well that day, and it just seemed like it was a good choice for her to ask me to come and tour with her. So she asked me to come and tour, and I spent a lot of the 1990s traveling with Aster, and because I was working with Aster, then I got to work with other Ethiopian artists as well, such as Muhammad Ahmed and others.
Yes.
So it like that, you know, just grew like that.
Interesting.
So it was from this circle of friends of my mother's that this all grew for me.
That's how life grew, you know. We are connected anyway through different ways. So this is how you come to the Ethiopian culture and music. So how do you get it? How do you interpret it? How do you understand it? You know, it's a little bit different from the Western kind of music, Canadian music. So how do you get it? You like it, or you do it for, you know, for a business, or you like it?
Oh, no, yeah, no. It's certainly not for business. Music is not a very good business to be in, unless you're very few people.
Yes.
No, it's for the love of the music, right?
Yes.
So so I spent so much time playing Ethiopian music on the road. I enjoyed it so much. For the drummer, it's a great thing to do. You know, you're very important in the band. Everyone, the whole room, as usual. I mean, but in a dancing situation, the whole room relies on you. You know, as the drummer. So the role is very important. I think the music is very beautiful. There's so much character, interesting sound, unique sound, so much humanity, a long civilization, a long history of various peoples that inform all this music, so much music. And as a people, I will say, I feel well accepted. I feel like there's so many wonderful people I've met, Ethiopian people. As a culture, I find that one of the things I enjoy is, especially I enjoyed on the road back in the day, was the communal aspect.
Yes.
You know, as a Canadian guy I have one brother, actually I have a brother and a half brother, small family. you know, Canadians do everything by themselves, you know. But when I had spent time with Ethiopian people, I got the experience of more communal life, more togetherness, how to be together. And this I found refreshing and beautiful and fulfilling. And I've always been very welcomed myself. I feel very welcomed by Ethiopian people, which is a beautiful thing. I've been well accepted as a musician in the circles, and I have you know, met very little resistance or upset that I'm there. So that's beautiful. I find too, somehow, and you might have an insight on this, but there is some sort of ease between Ethiopian people, my experience as a person of Jewish ancestry. There are ways in which Jews, they speak, they ask questions. Do you know what I'm saying? And when I listen to people speak Amharic, I hear the same thing.
So we share a lot with the Jewish culture. But so you found yourself in this community, in this culture. You see yourself. That's why
Yes,
you are connected, yeah.
I just feel somehow at ease, mostly at ease, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, I say sometimes Daniel is an ambassador of Ethiopian culture in Canada. You are, yes, we don't have, you know, an official ambassador of Ethiopian culture here, but Daniel is a representative, is an ambassador. You are there always, where whatever happening in the community, cultural, artistic, Daniel is there. So let me ask you a question about your relation with Girma, your partner, the saxophone player.
Yeah.
You know, you have been there for more than 20 years. So what's your relation like, and as a partner, as a friend?
Okay. Well, we first got to know each other in those days I was talking about, back in the 1990s, I guess, or the late 1980s.
Yeah.
And Girma came. He was friends with the same circle. I met him at that time, and when Girma was very new to the country, Canada. So I've known him a long time.
Mhm.
And then we got working on some of the Asteraweke tours in Europe. And so when that stopped, we were both here in Toronto, and I wanted to play more Ethiopian music. And so we hooked up and decided to do some things. And we just growing it slowly, working more and more, building shows. And really, it's like Girma is a very experienced musician and person. So I appreciate that. For me, he is professional, and it really all depends on if you commit to the project. Do you want to do it? And so we are finding that we both want to do it. We want to play this music. We want to have a band. We want to be playing. You know, he loves playing so much. So we find the commitment continues, and we're happy to be doing gigs, and better gigs and everything. And we work together on the material. Sometimes he sends me songs. Hey, why don't we do this one? You know, and things like that. And I send him some of my songs because I write a lot of the music. And he seems interested to play that. He likes my music.
Yeah.
So, and again, what makes the experience even bigger is not only do we play together in Barnes and Wildemichael, but we also get hired to back other singers. Zaye Johannes, we play for Aster Mohammed when he comes. You know, last summer we played for Alamayo Shete.
Alamayo Shate, I remember.
So we get hired to play together. Of course. Yeah, I saw you there. So when we play with other people, again, our relationship grows and strong. And, you know, when you work with somebody in many situations, it gets like that, stronger and stronger. So we have a lot of experience together by now, and it feels good to be trying to do something. We haven't had any major fights yet, Kazan, so I can't report about.
You plan to do that?
No plans.
You know,
No plans.
you know, it's a culture coming together. This is Canada is a very great country, brings all culture together. So you love to live in Canada, you know. You see music, you find music everywhere from all over the world. So this is an interesting country for an artist to perform, to play.
Yes.
So it's a great collaboration that I see with Girma.
And it was very nice to it's always nice to be on the drums and learning new songs with Ethiopian musicians. Girma, he kind of takes the lead and helps people get things together subtly, nicely. My friend Tyler was on bass, right? Tyler from the band, Canadian, European descent guy. He's getting into it, learning his Ethiopian ropes. It was nice to be playing the drums on that and playing the music, and also that it took place in that specific place, that restaurant, meaning Hirut Cafe and Restaurant. I know we did a lot of work there. It was nice to be centered there, as we do a lot of our shows there. And that place is, as you know, kind of a cultural hub in the East End. So it was very nice to see those performers honored and given some exposure. I'm forgetting.
Tell me about your relationship with your mother and what do you do in the day-to-day activity with your mother?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, we know how to live in the same space very well together. So I know when she wants her privacy, and then she knows when I want my privacy to be working or something. So we're good at finding our space in our place here in the family home.
Mm.
She knows about music, musicians, and everything very well. She's a creative person herself. She's a writer.
Oh, she's a writer. What's she writing? I mean, novel or short stories?
She's written almost everything.
Oh.
She's written fiction, short stories, poetry, children's books, TV scripts, radio dramas, all this.
Interesting. Are they, popular in Canadian audience?
Yes, her books are not famous.
Yeah.
But the work she's done that most people know they don't know that she did it. She wrote television scripts for a very popular children's show on Canadian Broadcasting System, the CBC Corporation, the CBC.
Yes. Mm.
They had a show called the Mr. Dress Up Show. It's a children's show.
Okay.
And she wrote for decades and decades that show. So people know her work that way.
Interesting.
But she's not a famous name. She just keeps writing. Yeah. And we often watch things at night. We find some favorite shows to watch. And she has Netflix, so we're watching series, comedies, Schitt's Creek, Medici, Heartbeat, all sorts of different things. Having fun watching things at night. if I go watch. Otherwise, I might work through the evening. Sometimes day looks like yoga in the morning. Do some desk work, maybe writing scripts for the YouTube video I was telling you about.
Yes.
Then you have to get up and move around. So I make sure I go for a long walk, usually 1-2 hours, go for a long walk. It's the only way to.
Is she still writing?
Yes, she is. She's actually working on publishing. She's finished writing a book, and she's working on the publishing aspect now. It's a book, a spiritual book talking issues of I would say.
Okay.
So, yes.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So, is she the one who inspired you to involve in music, in art?
She was so supportive.
Yes.
She and my father, so supportive. My father was also a musician.
Oh, he was a musician.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so by the time I was born, he was mostly writing music for classical music.
Yeah.
And conducting classical music. But in his youth, he was a drummer and a guitar player.
So it's a family business. So I know you started.
Yeah. So I grew up.
Huh? Oh, it's a family business. Yes.
Yeah. I grew up playing his drums, and so from age of about 4, I was playing his drums and just playing, and they were both very supportive of my playing. They were happy to have me practicing in the house. You know, drums are so noisy. Yeah. Somehow it was okay with them, and very supportive. Mom understand all this, and I've had a lot of support in the artistic life. I never had to struggle to say no. This is what I want to do. You know, so many people have that struggle with their parents.
Yes.
Their parents want a more stable life for their kids. But somehow my parents understood that if someone is an artist in their heart, they can't get away from it. So they have to make a way in life using it.
Interesting. Interesting. Are you satisfied with your choice? With being a drummer, a musician? I mean, no complaint? I love to be a drummer. Can you say that? Or you had some kind
yes.
of...
Yes. There's room for improvement, and mostly in the financial side. So I'm looking for ways to improve the financial side of life. But my interest in drums and music continues to be strong, and I feel like it keeps me alive in the sense of interested in life and things, in art. It's ongoing, and I still find great satisfaction in drumming and practicing, in writing music and performing it. So it's nice to have that satisfaction. I'm not bored.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But I have to find a few more dollars.
More dollars. You will find that. Okay, now let's move to your project. Producing videos, YouTube videos. You told me about your project. Okay. So what is it about, and what do you plan to shoot, to produce?
Yeah. So I realized that I had the ability to create videos at my friend, colleague, and neighbor close to me. He has all the technical stuff to shoot videos. And you call me Ethiopian ambassador or cultural ambassador.
Yeah.
So, you know what my involvement is. Girma knows, some people know.
Yeah.
I decided I would like to put it out there more concretely and have share my interest in Ethiopian jazz, Ethiopian music. And I realized I had the ability to do that, to get on screen and talk to people about the great music. And therefore, people can come to me for that information. And then I can show them the new record, make people aware of our new record. Because these days, if you make a record, it goes like in the wind. But if people know what you're doing, then they might take more interest, you know. So I realized I had the interest to find out more about Ethiopian music history and the country and stuff. So I've been doing some research. You know, there are some papers and...
Yes. We will see very interesting videos soon, by the time you release your videos. And hopefully we will meet again and talk about your project and your future plans. And thank you very much for joining us on this virtual conversation on Addis Kenyat. Hopefully, if you have anything to say, anything to share with the community, let me give you one more chance.
Okay, okay, great. I say simply, I think everyone is having some hard time psychologically, emotionally to get through.
Yeah.
So it's the same wish for everyone, and that I well in whatever way you need to feel okay.
Yeah.
And I hope that we all get through this. And I'm sure music helps. And I know that Ethiopian people often have close families, and so I'm sure family will help give you a purpose to be strong. And let's all do our best. Everyone can't believe these times, so let's do our best and do it. So Amasaganalo for me to be here. Fakir Salam.
Fakir Salam. Thank you. We really appreciate you for your time, Danny. Is there any music that you invite us? I mean, you can share with us any music, any piece.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. What can I say? Oh, you know, I've been enjoying, really enjoying the recordings of Getachew Mercuria.
Oh, Getachew Mercuria. Yes.
Yeah, Mercuria.
Yes.
I love, those are beautiful records. Another band I've been listening a lot to recently, Dalak Band.
Dalak Band. Yeah. Yes, I love them. Dalak Band.
That's a great record. Listen to it over and over again. So that's nice. I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You can see a few things there. Daniel Barnes Music.
Yes, I will take some piece and invite them. Thank you for your time, Danny. I wish you all the best with your mom and with your family.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Danny, bye.
በየትኛውም ዓለም ያላችሁ ሁላችሁንም ቨርቹዋል ቡና ጠጡ ብለን እንጋብዛለን። ማውራት ከፈለጋችሁ ሐሳብ ማካፈል ከፈለጋችሁ ቡና መጠጣት ከፈለጋችሁ ከኛ ጋራ ወይም እናንተ ቡና ጠጡ ብላችሁ ከጋበዛችሁን ለሁለቱም ፈቃደኞች ነን።